All right, so yeah, it's been a long time since I've read the Constitution, so I thought let's just read it, see what is in this thing, this document that is the foundation of our country. So it's a pretty important thing. So I figured we'd take some time and just kind of see what's in it. So let's get started, shall we? So here we go. I'll make it let's make that a little bigger. Nope, not there. How about there? All right. I like it. All right, so go back up here to the top. We have the Constitution of the United States of America. Now, this was printed in 2007 on orders of the Congress. There are some footnotes in here too, so I figured we would take a look at the footnotes. So we'll go through the whole thing. So this printing is a revised version of the Constitution of the United States of America, as amended, is hereby ordered pursuant to Congressional Resolution 190, is passed on July 25th, 2007, 110th Congress, first session. This document was compiled at the direction of Chairman Robert A. Brady of the Joint Committee on Printing and printed by the U.S. Government Printing Office. All right. Contents, historical note, text, amendments, proposed amendments not ratified, index to the Constitution and amendments. So we'll go through the text of the Constitution first, as it was. We won't stop if because there's some notes in here that says, okay, this amended this. We're going to go through the text first, and then we'll look at the amendments later, and we'll kind of go back and look at what was amended. So let's get started. We've got a painting of the scene at the signing of the Constitution. As you can see, there's some folks there. It's a little sideways, so you got to turn your head. Okay. And then this footnotes here. The delegates who convened at the Federal Convention on May 25th, 1787, quickly rejected the idea of revising the Articles of Confederation and agreed to construct a new framework for a national government. Throughout the summer months at the convention in Philadelphia, delegates from 12 states debated the proper form such a government should take. But few questioned the need to establish a more vigorous government to preside over the Union of States. Very important part, that Union of States thing. The 39 delegates who signed the Constitution on September 17, 1787, expected the new charter to provide a permanent guarantee of political liberties achieved in the Revolution. Prior to the adoption of the Federal Constitution, the Articles of Confederation, drafted by the Continental Congress and approved by 13 states, provided for a union of the former British colonies. Even before Maryland became the last state to accede to the Articles in 1781, a number of Americans, particularly those involved in the prosecution of the Revolutionary War, recognized the inadequacies of the Articles as a national government. In the 1780s, these nationally minded Americans became increasingly disturbed by the Articles' failure to provide the central government with authority to raise revenue, regulate commerce, and enforce treaties. Despite repeated proposals that the Continental Congress revise the Articles, the movement for a new national government began outside the Congress. Representatives of Maryland and Virginia meeting at Mount Vernon to discuss trade problems between the two states agreed to invite delegates from all states to discuss commercial affairs at a meeting in Annapolis, Maryland, in September 1786. Although delegates from only 5 states reached the Annapolis Convention, that group issued a call for a meeting of all states to discuss necessary revisions of the Articles of Confederation. Responding to this call and the endorsement of the Continental Congress, every state except Rhode Island selected delegates for the meeting in the State House at Philadelphia. The document printed here was the product of nearly 4 months of deliberations in the Federal Convention at Philadelphia. The challenging task before the delegates was to create a Republican form of government that could encompass the 13 states and accommodate the anticipated expansion to the West. The distribution of authority between legislative, executive, and judicial branches was a boldly original attempt to create an energetic central government at the same time that the sovereignty of the people was preserved. The longest debate of the convention centered on the proper form of representation and election for the Congress. The division between small states that wish to perpetuate the equal representation of states in the Continental Congress, and the large states that proposed representation proportional to the population threatened to bring the convention proceedings to a halt. Over several weeks, the delegates developed a complicated compromise that provided for equal representation of the states in a Senate elected by the state legislature and proportional representation in a popularly elected House of Representatives. The conflict between large and small states disappeared in the early years of the Republic. More lasting was the division between slave and free states that had been a disturbing undercurrent in the convention debates. The convention's strained attempt to avoid using the word slavery in the articles, granting recognition and protection to that institution, scarcely hid the regional divisions that would remain unresolved under the terms of the Union agreed to in 1787. The debates in the state ratification conventions of 1787 and the 1788 made clear the need to provide amendments to the basic framework drafted in Philadelphia. Beginning with Massachusetts, a number of state conventions ratified the Constitution with the request that a Bill of Rights be added to protect certain liberties at the core of English and American political traditions. The first Congress approved a set of amendments which became the Bill of Rights when ratified by the states in 1791. The continuing process of amendment, clearly described in the note of the following text, has enabled the Constitution to accommodate changing conditions in American society. At the same time, the founders' basic outline of a national government remains intact. So as we go, we have the preamble to the Constitution. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. So, okay, I am going to stop there. That's going to be our first video for today, and then we shall carry on the next video. So stay tuned. Thank you.